Hi, how you doing? Uh, it's been a long time coming, and it's something I've been wanting to do for quite a while is make a new update video of my project building here. So this is it. um, Let me start from the beginning. Back last year, at the end of last year, and I'm going to take you for a little walk here. The end of last year, um, one of the last things I did to the building was I put a front on the building. So as you can see, I have some plastic doors here, and I got the plywood front, rough opening. The idea is that eventually I would like to have a pair of outswing French doors, 5 feet wide, very similar to what I have on the house back there, right? But that is going to be hard to find because I'm shopping at a used building materials place, and you never know what you're going to find there. However, having this single door on here has given me time to think that maybe what I'd prefer to have would be a single door with a side light on one side. So what's going to happen with the front of the building still remains to be seen. Anyway, last year, at the end of the year, one of the last purchases that I made was for some conduit. I had been meaning to put electricity in the building for quite a while. I've had an extension cord running across the yard for like 2 years. So at the end of the year, I went and I bought some inch and a half, I believe it is, maybe an inch and a quarter, PVC conduit and all the attachments and stuff. And then I had all winter to think about how I was going to install all this stuff. I was going to have to get a trencher and dig a trench from the house to the building. And then I'd have to tap into my main panel, electric panel in the house. And I'm going to put a sub panel out here. So in March of this year, I finally bit the bullet. I rented the trenching machine and I dug a channel from the house over to here. And as you can see, I'll bring you over here. As you can see down here, now I have the conduit that comes up, enters into the building. And there's a similar conduit on the side of the house that goes into my electric panel. So I have two 20 amp circuit breakers in the house leading out here to a sub panel with, for right now, has one single 15 amp breaker and one outlet, but that's enough to bring the electricity out here. And it's a vast improvement. Um, the extension cord, I don't know what the gauge was on the extension cord, but the loss, the resistance in the line caused quite a bit of loss and sometimes gave my compressor a very hard time to start. I now have, thanks to my younger brother Pierre, shout out to Pierre, thank you Pierre. He gave me about a 95-foot section of 10-3 Romex wire. So 10 gauge, 3 wires, that allows me 2 circuits. And I brought that wire from the house into the building, and now I'm going to get out of the sun. So we're going to go inside. So yeah, now having solid wires coming from outside to in. And as you can see behind me here, there's my circuit panel with a 1 breaker. There will be eventually, I believe, 4 breakers, one for the lights, one for the north wall, one for the south wall, one for this one little lonely outlet here, and north, south, lonely outlet, and the lights, anything that lights up. So anyway, here's my panel. There's that orange wire right there on the wall. That's my 10-3 Romex. And yay, I have power. That was a big step and a huge relief to get that out of the way. Now, next thing I had to do was it was time. I'm done destroying the building. There's not going to be any more scrap except for just little bits and pieces here and there. So it's time to get rid of the debris from the building. I had a big pile of debris on the north side over here, old roofing, old siding, the old doors, a lot of stuff. And we're moving again. And I decided it's time to get a dumpster and get that stuff out of here. So of course, Patty and I got together, and this whole area right here was all full of rubbish from the destruction of the old garage building. And we got ourselves a dumpster and had all that stuff. We trucked it all ourselves into the dumpster and got rid of it. One of the things that I thought of 2 days before the dumpster was to arrive, I thought of it and Patty thought of it at the same moment, was to utilize the doors, the old swinging garage doors, was to use those as a back wall for the building. I had been going back and forth. I never came up with a good idea to enclose that back wall. I was thinking maybe I'll use the old clapboards and wall that up. But I didn't like the idea. And then I thought of those doors. 2 days before the dumpster arrived, and I came out here that morning and I was like, I hope to God that after these things have been sitting here out in the weather with snow and rain and leaves and everything else piled on top of it, I thought, please let them still be in reasonably good condition. And lo and behold, they are in good condition. So they were right on top of the stack. We took them, put them off to the side, got rid of the rest of the junk. While we're getting rid of junk, we started looking at that beautiful big maple tree in the back. Now I got to say this about the maple tree. The maple tree is actually the catalyst for this entire project. You see this branch right here? That's a pretty hefty piece that broke off. That piece landed on the roof of the existing garage. And it is actually the catalyst for me refurbishing this building, because even though it did no damage to the garage itself, when my son Nick and I tried rolling it off of the edge, it just like wiped out the overhang on the building. The overhang was just the thickness of the lumber. That was it. And there was some shingles and there was lumber, and then you throw that huge branch on there and it just ripped it right off. So I knew I had some repair work to do. Now that leaves this tree is in rough shape, and it has been in rough shape for quite a while. Matter of fact, if you look way up this section of the tree here, you probably can't see it in the video, I don't know, but this section in the middle of the tree, this is the main trunk that goes up, is covered with little fungus mushrooms up there. And the tree has been stressed for the past several years. And because of that stress, I'm worried that more branches are going to come down. Now, if you look over my shoulder here, this huge limb is right over my brand new shed right here. If that limb is to fall, it's going to destroy my shed. And if I come this way and I look over here, you see there's this branch and this branch are right over my garage, my poorhouse. And if either one of those come down, they're going to create a real mess. The tree has been stressed for a long time. So we come to a decision. It's time to get rid of the tree. I'm going to miss the shade, I have to tell you. This is a beautiful shady spot. I mean, it has been since I bought this house in 1979. But the tree's got to go. It's becoming a danger, and it is not in good shape. I don't know if you can see any more up. You see how the light's coming through at the top up there. It's quite thin. So anyway, called a couple places, got a couple of quotes, and one of them, they wanted a crane, and they wanted like these people to fly in on helicopters, or I'm making that up, but they were going to take this tree down piece by piece with a crane, and it was going to cost $8,000. That seemed to be a little bit excessive, so we told them no thanks. Looked around, got a couple more quotes. We finally settled on one, $2,800. The guy's going to come in here, no bucket truck. He's going to climb up there, and he's going to do all the work with ropes and take the tree down. That's going to happen in about 2 weeks from now or so. So I will miss the tree, but I hope that the neighbors' arborvitaes over here, rocket up to about 25, 30 feet high and provide us a little shade during the day, because I'll miss the shade from that tree. In the meantime, this area here between the two buildings, that is going to become Patty's secret garden. And I don't know what the secret is, but you'll just have to wait and find out. All right, so moving back to the building, I got a little bungee cord holding the door open, and I can show you the one garage door at the back of the building. I've got one installed already, and I had to do that because let me find a place to put this camera. There it is. This is the old door, one of the doors that used to be at the front of the building, and you can see it's covering up half of the window right now. But I'm going to cut out, obviously, I'm going to cut out the spot where the window goes, and I'll frame that in, trim it out, and it'll look really nice. Now, of course, the other door is going to go on the other side over there. But right for the time being, I have my lumber pile here, which is in the way, preventing me from putting the other door up there. So I got to get the lumber pile out of here. The lumber pile is being used for siding. So the reason I had to put this door up right now is because you can see there's a new 2x4 right here, right there. That's a new 2x4. And I had to put that in there because there was no appropriate corner on the building. Now, I know that doesn't sound right, but a corner, an outside corner is no problem. You can just have a post and then have the two sides come together. But on the inside, you've got to have where two walls come together, you've got to have nailing for both walls. Now, I could bring something here and bring it across and nail it over this piece here, but then I wouldn't have anything to nail this side wall in on. So I had to build out another piece of wood, which I've done. And because, excuse me, because the original constructionist building, you can see some of it right here, because some of the original constructionist building was made with old 2x4s. The difference between old 2x4s and new 2x4s, old 2x4s actually measured 2 inches by 4 inches. New 2x4, modern construction 2x4s measure 1.5 by 3.5. So that new 2x4 that I put in the corner was actually a 2x6, and I had to cut it to make it 4 inches. So it matches the thickness of this 2x4, so that when I put my siding pieces on, that they match up and I don't have to bow that board in. So I do have some of the wall siding in place here. I'm looking at it and I notice that I have a lot of crap in the way because I've been moving things around here. I'll try to show you what I've got. Okay, so what I've got here, I'm going to come to the front and let's see. See where this axe is here. These boards right here, these boards from here down, those boards are the old roof. As a matter of fact, if you look, you see that white spot. You see it way over there in the corner. There's a white spot. That was actually the overhang that didn't break off. But that was the overhang on the gable end of the roof. Front or back, I'm not sure. So I'm reutilizing these old boards and using them for siding. Now the siding is going to come up to the base of the windows here and to the bottom of this little shelf thing. That we're going to keep the shelf for a little nostalgia. I don't think the pool chemicals will stay there, but we'll put something there. And anyway, you can see I've been roughing in some of the electric work. There's going to be an electric outlet box right about here. The power goes up here in the corner. I have a switch. This is a switch for some outdoor floodlights. I got a couple LED floodlights outside. They're mounted on the other side of this blue box. That wire is going to continue across. And here is another electric line that is going to be used for outside lighting. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to have another electric box here with an outlet box mounted outside, except this will be a duplex outlet. So you can plug in something like a string of party lights or, a fountain or something like that. So we can have that. Now down here, I have another wire right here. That is going to be for an outlet that mounts on this side of the window. And then finally in that corner, back over by the new 2x4, there's going to be a final outlet over there. On the opposite side of the building, behind that piece of plywood right there, that piece of plywood, there's going to be an outlet in that corner as well. And I've got to rebuild that corner. You can see what the original corner looked like. I'm going to put you up close. I don't know. Wait a minute. Adjust my camera a little bit. I'm going to put the camera up close. I can't see exactly what you're seeing, but you can see that corner is just it's kind of a 4x4 post. That is actually a top rail to a telephone pole. You see the hole drilled in it right there? There's a hole drilled in it. That's where those pegs used to go. You know the old telephone poles that had the glass insulators? That's what that is. That's a cross member for a telephone pole. But that is a corner, and I'm going to need to rebuild that corner to make it so it has two sides to it instead of a single-sided corner the way it is now. But that, I'm going to have to move this whole lumber pile before I get to that, and the plywood. On this corner, because the gardens are on the other side, outside the windows there, I'm going to put an outside electric outlet so I can plug in my electric mower, my electric hedge trimmer, my electric, everything I have is electric. So the tiller, all that stuff. So working in the garden, it's going to be the all electric garden. Anyway, so that's where we are right now. I do have one other little thing right here. The electric, speaking of electric stuff for, this is a temporary piece of wood right here. But this is the electric for the electric lights. Here is a 3-wire setup for the ceiling fan. And all that mess goes here, there, and everywhere. And eventually I have connectors that will go into the, come on out of there, connectors that'll end up in the box here with their own breakers and such. And well, that's where we are today. All right, I've been going on for almost 20 minutes now, so let's call it a day. That's the update on my building project. So I hope I didn't bore you to death. Anyway, from Denny in West Springfield, I got to get back to work. So we'll catch you later. Bye.